and you can open and you can see. It doesn't say that he did not become a Muslim. It's saying the opposite. It's saying he accepted Islam. He embraced Islam. So what you are saying to me is not true. And it's really weird that the Muslims suddenly, they don't accept their own explanation. The scholars of Islam, the highest scholars of Islam, they do not know Islam suddenly. And you are the one right now is going to correct Al-Jalalain. So what do you think about what Jalalain is saying in front of your eyes? The mic is yours.
Okay, Mr. Prince, we will read the verse for you, and then we will read the translation, so that the audience will see if there was a misunderstanding on your side, or is it that something that we are saying. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وجاوزنا ببني إسرائيل البحر فأتبعهم فرعون وجنوده بغيا وعدوا حتى إذا أدركه الغرق قال آمنت أنه لا إله إلا الذي آمنت به بنو إسرائيل وأنا من المسلمين. The next verse, which that's how you read the Quran in context, says الآن وقد عصيت قبل وكنت من المفسدين, which means we took the children of Israel across the sea. Pharaoh and his hosts followed them in insolence and spite. At last, when overwhelmed with the flood, he said, I believe that there is no God except him whom the children of Israel believe in. I am of those who submit. And then in the next verse, Allah is answering back here. Allah is answering back in the verse 91. And that's how you read the Quran in context. It was said to him, oh no, now, but a little while before wasn't thou in rebellion, and thou didst and violence. Okay. So that's the Quran.
Keep things moving. 90 seconds. Up there, Christian friends, go ahead. You have 90 seconds.
Okay, well, Mr. Jamal, I did post for you a Jalalain, and you did not read a Jalalain, because simply a Jalalain agree with me and don't agree with you. But I understand, still you want to defend your religion. I understand that. Let us move to something else. According to your prophet in the Quran, in Surah Al-Tariq, he is saying, and I will post Ibn Kathir as an explanation, so nobody can say, you know what, you have a wrong explanation. This is Ibn Kathir. I hope they will post it for you in there. I want you to open with me, please. And you will see your prophet saying that the human being, he is created from a gushing fluid coming from the backbone and the ribs. According to the explanation, according to the hadith of your prophet, it was the backbone of the man and the ribs of the women. Now, if I want to ask you, please, what is coming from the backbone of the man and what is coming from the ribs of the women? And I want you, please, to open and read for me what your prophet himself saying and what is written in the explanation of Ibn Kathir. And as you see, I'm not explaining your Quran, and I have no right to explain the Quran, because the Quran says only the ulama can explain the Quran and Allah. And this is the ulama, this is Ibn Kathir, and this is the hadith of your prophet. So please, let us concentrate, not you explaining, not me explaining. Let us go by the scholars, and whatever scholars they say, we should accept. I would like you to open that page and read for us, please. The whole page. Thank you.
Thank you once again for that verse in Surah Al-Tariq, which is one of the chapters of the Quran. And the verse you read was verse 6 and 7 for our audience to hear what we are saying. Allah says in the Quran, خُلِقَ مِن مَّاءٍ دَافِقٍ يَخْرُجُ مِن بَيْنِ الصُّلْبِ وَالتَّرَائِبِ. Allah says He is created, meaning man, of course, is created from a drop emitted, proceeding from between the backbone and the ribs. Listen to the words. From between the backbone and the ribs. He is not telling you from the backbone. He is not telling you from the ribs. The word bayna, you know Arabic, is very significant in here. Now, since you have, of course, this opportunity to deal with about the creation of God, we would like to show you what in the world in the 7th century could determine what science has discovered these days about how a human being...
Okay, guys, hold that thought. Your 90 seconds is up there. Hold that thought.
No, brother, I want to give him my time.
Go ahead, Chris, you have 90 seconds.
I want to give him my time as a gift to him because still he has to make a point, and I think it's his right to answer more. So I will give you my extra minute for you to answer me. Please go and read the explanation of Ibn Kathir. Don't tell me about science, please. Ibn Kathir is giving us the answer. Let us read first Ibn Kathir.
Ibn Kathir is only one of the interpreters. He's not the final reference. We have many other interpreters as well.
And I thank you very much for you giving me your time. That means you are willing to learn tonight. Now, to proceed, Allah says, Baina, and I was telling you, how do you want to avoid science as an intellectual? If you want to prove things today and nowadays, Quran has given you the opportunity on the 7th century to your ancestors to know what science could not even bring up at the very moment. But I'm telling you that what Quran is saying today, whereas explained clearly and in detail by science, and you go and study embryology, you will see what Allah has said as is today what the scientists have brought up as an explanation. Now, for you and I who are not scientists, we'll be very happy to read in between these words and understand that Allah, God, the way He created you and I, in a very sophisticated way, with the mixture of elements from our bodies, as He said, between the backbone and the ribs. Now your question was, what is coming from the backbone or from the ribs? And I corrected you, say, it is not coming from the backbone or from the ribs. It is coming between the backbone and the ribs. Now then you correct your question. If you want to really understand, we proceed as Allah says, إِنَّهُ عَلَى رَجْعِهِ لَقَادِرٌ. Surely God is able to bring him back to life.
Okay, now, that's 90 seconds. Gonna have to cut you off there. That's 90
thank
seconds.
you. Well, still, they don't want to read Ibn Kathir because Ibn Kathir. Okay, thank you. Still, they don't want to read Ibn Kathir because Ibn Kathir will prove that this is a very huge mistake. If you go and open with me, it says clearly, as you said, you are saying from between, this is the point you are making, right? From between the ribs and the backbone. You know, why Allah, He did not say from between the toes and the nose? This is a huge area, you know. What is left between the backbone and the ribs? Now, I want to ask you, if you read with me, Ibn Kathir, he is saying that the fluid of the women, it's Gaussian fluid, it is light yellow texture. It is a yellow texture. This is your prophet explanation, and he's saying there, the back of the man and the ribs of the women is the fluid, is a yellow fine in texture. The child will not be born except from both of them. Now what is the yellow texture is coming from whatever place you want. Will make the baby created. The egg is not a yellow texture, and the egg is not a fluid. And what is your prophet describing? Forgive us, you know, guys, for using the language. It's simply when the women, she get, excited, there is a liquid. That liquid, this is what your prophet describing, and the proof, the color of the liquid. And he is saying it's coming from the ribs of the women. If you read with me, you will see it says that the ribs is exactly the chest place. Read with me. Between the backbone and the ribs, meaning the backbone or loins of the man and the ribs of the women, which is referring to her chest. I'm not the one saying that. So this is why I want you to read. But you are rejecting to read because you cannot, make it as something correct unless you ignore what your scholars and what your prophet himself is saying. So I want you please to read from, does it say really from the chest? Does it say that, which is referring to hairy chest? I want you to read that word exactly. This is mean, it's not between. It is in that area, in the chest, the ribs. This is where that yellow text